Hello everyone. Once again I welcome all of you to BSP Self-Learning Video Broadcast Solution. Today I am going to tell you how to create and configure SQL virtual machine in Azure, and later on we'll be going to see how to access the SQL from an ASP.NET application which has configured in virtual machine in Azure. So first of all, let's switch to our Azure and see how to create a virtual machine in Azure and how to configure it. So for that, I've already created a trial version in Azure. So as you can see here, I've already switched to Azure, and on the left side of the screen, you can see there is an option here. There is a link over here, virtual machine. So now I'm going to create a virtual machine here. So I clicked on new and compute virtual machine, and there are two ways to create a virtual machine. So either we can go with a quick create, so it is used to quickly create a virtual machine, and we can customize it later on. And if you want to create a virtual machine which is already configured, it's so I can click on from gallery, and when we click on this from gallery, we'll get a chance to create a virtual machine which is already configured, which is already set up. We only have to add it, and it's a ready to use virtual machine, so we don't have to configure it later on. So I simply clicked on it from gallery, and I would like to set up a virtual machine for my SQL server. So I select an option for SQL server and I switch down. So from here you can see here we have got various different version of SQL server. So based on your requirement or according to your requirement, you can set up a virtual machine within SQL server according to your requirement. So I'm going to set up a virtual machine for SQL server 2008 R2 SP2 version and click on next arrow. Here we need to give a name for a virtual machine. So I'll give BISP virtual machine, and it's already so there is a rule naming convention that the virtual machine name, the length of the name should not exceed 15 characters and cannot be less than 3 characters. So I'll set BISP virtual. I'll stick with the standard version, the tier standard version, and the size is 3.5 GB. I'm going to set a new username for this virtual machine. So I'll set a new username, and the password I'll set and click on next. After that, we need to configure a cloud service, because what is cloud service? Basically, it's a container for virtual machine, for your virtual machine to be created. So either if you have already configured a cloud service, or if you already created a cloud service, that is okay, or we can create a new cloud service for our new virtual machine. So I'm going to create a new cloud service for this current virtual machine, and the region is, I'll go with East Asia. Storage account, to associate any storage account with our virtual machine. So I have already configured few storage account. So I'll go with my BSP new storage account, which will be configured with this virtual machine. And then there are a few endpoints. So these endpoints we can configure later on as well. These endpoints are the endpoints. So this is basically to communicate with your virtual machines. Okay, so I leave it as it is right now. I leave it blank and click on complete. So as you can see here, it is starting provisioning, and the virtual machine will be going to be start setting up. So it may take some time to set up a virtual machine. So once it is set up, or once it is created or ready to use, we'll get this connect option to be highlighted, and when we click on this connect option, a file will be downloaded on our local system, and with the help of that file we can connect with our virtual machine. So you can see here the virtual machine has successfully been installed and configured, and it's running now. Now I would like to run this virtual machine from my local system. So before running this virtual machine, I need to do some settings. First of all, we need to attach a disk along with this virtual machine. So I select this virtual machine, and I select this virtual machine and click on attach a disk, because there are no disk attached with this virtual machine right now. So I click on attach disk, attach empty disk. That's the storage location, and how much size? I'll give 20 GB of size of my disk, which will be going to attach with this virtual machine. It will take some time to update, and the disk will be attached with this virtual machine. So once it is attached successfully, we can click on connect, and we can access virtual machine, or we can connect to our virtual machine from our local system. So you can see here the disk has successfully attached. Now there are various options on this virtual machine, like restart if you want to restart the virtual machine, shut down, attach, deattach disk, detach disk. So the disk we have attached, we can detach that disk, we can capture it, and we can delete this virtual machine. So as you can see here, we have a cloud service. So as I told you that the virtual machine will runs on a cloud service. So this is the cloud service which is created automatically. And if I click get back to virtual machine, click on this. So there are endpoints. So we need to configure endpoints here. So I click on this endpoints and remote desktop. So I would like to configure a new endpoint for my SQL. So I click on add and add a standalone endpoints. So this endpoint is for MySQL, MS SQL. Public port is this, private port is this. So I want to change the public port. I'll set it to 57500 and the private port I leave it as it is 1433 and complete it. So endpoint is created, or new endpoint has been created. Now let's log in into this virtual machine from our system or access this virtual machine. So first let it complete this process or adding an endpoint to this virtual machine. So you can see here the endpoint has successfully created with this virtual machine. Now I'm going to click on again back to virtual machine and click on connect. So it will download one .rdb file on my system. So when I clicked on this RDB file, this is basically used to connect to a virtual machine from our system. So I click on connect and it asks for a session. So I enter my user ID password for the virtual machine, right, and click on OK. Yes, and it will open virtual machine. So like this we can access the virtual machine. So you can see here the virtual machine is starting up and it's a Windows Server 2008 R2 data center, and it will configure it. It will configure the required settings. So the virtual machine has started up, and you can see here we have the public IP, that's the internet IP, that's the public IP which we can use in our programming language. That's the two disks are attached with this, C drive and D drive, and their spaces, the allocated spaces to them, how much memory, so we can get the complete information from here. Now I would like to check one more thing, so I click on my SQL Server 2008 configuration tool. So I click on SQL Server configuration tool. I would like to set the TCP IP port, so that we can access this SQL Server from out of this virtual machine. So native configuration and TCP IP, make sure they should be enabled and just check its IP address. So TCP port is 1433. So if it is configured successfully, let's open SQL Server and create a new login ID into that, and then we'll create a new database into our SQL Server. So it's loading first time, and it will load SQL Server. So the SQL Server has started up. So I click on connect, and this will be logged into SQL Server by default, and I'm going to activate the database. And in database, in security, we have login. In login we have SA. By default this is not activated, so I'm going to activate this first, because I'm going to use the same the login, this SA login from my ASP.NET application. So I set the password again, and here as well. Status, make it enabled. Okay. So once we set this, now we need to change the login. We need to log in through SA over here. So before that, I clicked on database properties and the security, and I changed this to SQL Server and Windows authentication mode, and OK. So once we're done with this, we need to restart it, restart our SQL Server. So I disconnect from here, I disconnect it, close it, I look for SQL Server Configuration Manager. In SQL Server Configuration Manager, the services are here. That's the running service, MS SQL Server. So I right click and restart the service. So whatever changes I have done, I would like those changes to be executed or will be applicable on server, SQL Server. So I just refresh the server. So it will stop the services and restart the services again, and it will be working now. Now let's log in into SQL by using SA login ID and password. So here I set SQL Server Authentication SA and enter the password. Yeah, so enter password and enter connect. So it's connected successfully. It's successfully connected. Now very quickly I'm going to create a new database. So I'll create a new database in this SQL, and I'll give a name, product name to that database. Product and okay, and in that product database I'm going to create one table, that is product info table. Tables, right click, new table, and the attributes, I'll create 3 attributes. I want to store product ID, data type will be integer, then product name, that will be n varchar, product price, that will be, I'll go with n varchar, close it, yes, I give a name, product info, okay. The table is created. I'll simply refresh it so that it will get affected here. I refresh it and we can see the table here, product info. So it is successfully created. Now we would like to connect with our ASP.NET application. So as you can see here, I have already prepared an application here. That's my web form. So I have already designed a form. In this form, I have designed three text boxes are there, and there is one button. And when we clicked on this button, it will save the information or save the details into the SQL Server which is running on virtual machine. But before setting up a connection, we need to do one more setting. That is, you need to click on Server Manager. In Server Manager, look for Windows Firewall with Advanced Security, Inbound Rules, and we are going to set up a new rule here. So in this rule, I'll select port and all local, I'll set it to 1433. Next, allow the connections, next, and give a name, TCP SQL port, and finish. So it's successfully done. It's added into our firewall. Now we can use this port 1433 port that we can access from our system. So I close this, and now let's try to connect or try to store the data into this SQL Server database in this product info table from our local system or from our application which is stored here. So first of all, we have to add a new web application which I have already added in Visual Studio.NET. After that, you need to add a web form. In web form, you have to design a form like this, and then switch to web config. We need to add a new connection string. So that's the connection string. I give a name to that my connection string, and that's the connection string. You can see here that's the data source. Data source is equal to now that's the DSN name, DSN name of your virtual machine. So how to get this name? You can switch to your virtual machine, and in virtual machine you can see your DNS name is BISP virtual cloud app.net. So you can copy this from here and paste it here, BISP virtual.cloud app.net. That's your virtual machine name, and that's the port. We have created a public port. So after this comma, I just add the public port, and the catalog is product. Product is the our database name. So our database is product, and in this we have product info table. So and password is SA, and username is this, password is this. Okay. And after that, I'll switch to web form and double click on button, and I'll just write this code to store the data. And this table name is product info, values is that's the query to insert the record, and I'll just display a message in the alert box to that the data has been saved, and after that I just make that field blank. So now let's test it whether the record is saved or not. So to test the application, we need to simply publish it. So I right click and publish it, start preview, and I'll publish it on one of our web app which is already configured on Azure. So you need to configure your web app first. So I've already configured a web app here, and I'm going to use this FR Solutions to publish my application. So I switch here, and so you can see here I have used the FR Solutions and click on publish. So it will start publishing, and once it is published successfully, it will open the URL. It will open the web page in a web browser with a form. So you can see the page has been successfully published. Now I'm going to enter the data here. So I enter product ID is 101, product name is football, and the price is 1500. And when I clicked on save, I'll got a message that the data has been saved. The fields are becoming blank, and now when I switch to my VM, and in VM when I look for the records, you can see the record has been updated successfully into our VM SQL Server. So that's all in this video. So that's how we can create a virtual machine in Azure and how we can configure it, and once it is configured, how we can save data into SQL Server which is running on Azure by using our .NET application. So if you have any questions or if you have any queries, you can visit our website www.bisptrainings or bispsolutions.com, or you can subscribe our YouTube channel for more videos. Have a nice day ahead. Goodbye.